The words hit Brandon like a ton of bricks. Another game? He had faced the worst this one had to offer, and now there was another? The Toad handed him a shimmering game cartridge, the letters on the label blurring and rearranging before they finally settled into place. New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. Rachel's voice, faint but clear, called to him from the depths of the cartridge. Brandon, I'm here! Please hurry! The floor beneath him gave way, and Brandon found himself falling into the abyss, the game's world swirling around him. When he landed, he was in a place he had never seen before, a game within a game, a twisted reflection of the world they had just escaped. Rachel was nowhere in sight, but the air was thick with the scent of fear and despair. The Toad had told him the truth, but it was a truth he never wanted to hear. Rachel was trapped in another nightmare, and he had to save her all over again. The weight of the new cartridge in his hand was a grim reminder of the battles yet to come. He took a deep breath, steeled his resolve, and inserted it into the Wii U. The screen flickered to life, and the game began. The new world was a mix of the familiar and the foreign, a harrowing blend of their previous experiences and new horrors yet unimagined. The music was a haunting melody, a twisted lullaby that seemed to follow him wherever he went. Brandon knew he was in for the fight of his life. He had to find Rachel and escape before they became trapped in this digital hell forever. The levels stretched out before him, each one more daunting than the last. The game threw everything at him: spikes, lava pits, and creatures that seemed to have been pulled from the darkest corners of his mind. But Brandon pushed on, driven by the thought of Rachel's smile, the warmth of her hand in his, and the promise of a future free from the shadow of this game. As he played, the walls of the castle grew thinner, the lines between reality and the game world blurring until he could almost feel Rachel's presence beside him. But it was a mirage, a cruel trick played by the game to taunt him. He knew she was still out there, still in danger, and he had to find her before it was too late. With every jump and stomp, Brandon grew stronger, his skills honed by the endless battles he had faced. He was no longer the player, he was the hero. And as the castle walls crumbled around him, revealing the true face of the monster within, Brandon knew that this was it, the final confrontation. The room was a whirlwind of chaos, the air charged with the electricity of 1,000 power-ups. Rachel's cries grew louder, and Brandon's heart raced with hope and fear. He could see her, a glimmer of light in the dark, and he knew that if he could just reach her, they could escape this hell together. The demonic Mario loomed over them, his eyes gleaming with malice. But Brandon was not afraid. He had faced this before, and he had won. He took a deep breath and leaped into the fray, his every action driven by love and the fierce determination to save Rachel from this digital purgatory. The battle was fierce, a clash of wills that seemed to shake the very fabric of the game world. But in the end, it was Brandon's love that proved to be the most powerful weapon of all. He reached the final chamber, his heart pounding in anticipation. Rachel's voice grew clearer, and he could feel her presence so close it was almost tangible. But what awaited him was not the sweet embrace of his girlfriend but a twisted mockery of her. Before him stood a grotesque demonic version of Princess Peach. Her eyes were pools of pure black, her smile a rictus of malevolence. Rachel's voice echoed through the room, but it was clear it was not her speaking, it was the game, using her voice as a lure. The demonic Peach giggled, her laughter a chilling parody of Rachel's laughter, and Brandon's blood ran cold. He knew he had to destroy this monster to save Rachel, but every blow he landed seemed to echo in Rachel's cries for help. He steeled himself, pushing aside his doubt and fear. This was not Rachel. This was the game's final, desperate attempt to break him. He had to keep fighting. The demonic Peach lunged at him, her nails like talons, her dress fluttering around her like the wings of a raven. But Brandon was ready. He dodged and countered, his every move fueled by love and anger. The room grew hot with the intensity of their battle, the very air seeming to crackle with energy. Luigi appeared and killed Princess Peach with a fireball. "Hello, brother," evil Mario said. Luigi shot another fireball at Mario, but Mario was too quick and dodged it, and Mario shot Luigi in the face with a fireball. Luigi's head exploded. I sent your girlfriend to another game, evil Mario said. Brandon's rage boiled over. You monster, he shouted, charging towards the demonic Mario. Mario only chuckled, his smile growing wider and more sinister. You think you can save her? He taunted. You think you can save yourself? I'm going to kill you, Brandon said as he grabbed a pile of poison mushrooms and he ran towards Mario and shoved the fistful of poison mushrooms down Mario's throat. Mario choked and coughed, his eyes bulging out of his head. You think that's going to work? He rasped before swiping his hand through the air and sending a bolt of lightning at Brandon. Brandon barely dodged in time, the electricity crackling through the air. Rachel's cries grew more desperate, and Brandon knew he couldn't let this go on any longer. I killed Mario, now I have to find the game that Rachel had been taking to. The room spun around him, and suddenly, he found himself in a new place, a game over screen. Rachel's voice was gone, and in its place was silence. A cold dread filled his heart. He had failed. He had let Rachel down. But as the words, "game over," faded from the screen, something strange began to happen. The world around him started to glitch, the screen tearing and flickering until it was nothing but a sea of pixels. Out of the chaos, Rachel's face appeared, distorted and fading in and out. Brandon, it's okay, she whispered. You can still save me. Her voice was faint but filled with hope. It was a sign, a beacon guiding him through the digital void. With newfound resolve, Brandon ripped the game cartridge from the Wii U, the plastic cracking under his grip. He knew he couldn't win playing by the game's twisted rules. He had to find another way. Rachel's voice grew stronger, guiding him through the glitching maze of pixels. The walls of the game world shimmered and wavered as if trying to keep them apart, but he pushed forward, driven by his love for her. The glitches grew more frequent, and the game's fabric began to unravel. Rachel's voice grew clearer with each step, leading him to a hidden chamber, a place where the game's code was laid bare. Here, amidst the swirling chaos of ones and zeros, Brandon saw a glimmer of light, a portal to another game. You're so close. Rachel's voice encouraged him, and he knew that this was his chance. With a deep breath, Brandon leaped into the void, the cold digital emptiness enveloping him. The world around him reassembled into a new game, brighter and more colorful than the last. Super Smash Bros. Rachel's voice grew louder, and he saw her standing in the distance, surrounded by familiar characters. But something was wrong. She was flickering, her form unstable. You've got to break the game, she told him, her voice crackling with static. I'm trapped in the code.